I'm gonna pick up a house cheap once the market crashes. Yeah, I've been hearing that for about 4 years now. Let's get into it. Hey guys, how you doing? Derek here from M1 Realty. I'm the broker, owner, founder of the company. Started out in 2014 on the third floor of an office building in Ferndale, just me and a laptop. Today, we've got a storefront right at the corner on 9 and Woodward in the heart of downtown Ferndale. Got a team of all-star agents, whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, rent, whatever you need, we've got you covered. So it goes without saying, I have a lot of real estate conversations every single day. In the course of those conversations, I get a lot of people, and it's been more and more recently, saying they're gonna hold off on purchasing a home, they're gonna wait for the market to crash. Problem is with that, nobody's ever been able to give me a realistic reason when or why the market is gonna crash in Metro Detroit. Now, obviously, on a long enough timeline, it's gonna happen sooner rather than later, but I'm talking like sometime in the next 1 to 3 years. Now, before we get into this, I want to back it up for just a second and say, obviously, the only person who knows when the right time to purchase a home for themselves is you. So I'm not here trying to pressure you saying, you got to buy now, the market's going to go sky high or interest rates are going to, triple. It's a very personal decision when to buy or sell a home. So, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to say, if you're just waiting on the sidelines for the market to crash, you've already been waiting for a long time, and more than likely you're going to be waiting a very, very long time. I get it. Interest rates are a lot higher now than they have been for the past few years. But if you look at where we're at now, we're still below the 40-year average of 7.17% for a 30-year fixed rate conventional mortgage. And people that know more about this than me, I'm talking like the CEOs of mega mortgage companies and analysts who do this for a living, a lot of them are predicting that by middle to late summer, interest rates are going to drop down quite a bit. They're even saying they're going to be somewhere in the 5s here before too long. And I just want to point out too, if you're renting right now and you're waiting for rates to drop down, you're currently paying 100% interest. But here in Metro Detroit, the main market forces that we're dealing with right now are simply supply and demand. There is a ton of demand from buyers right now, and there's very, very little supply. I've been saying this for a while, and it's really true. Like, interest rates don't even matter anymore. To an extent. Let me rephrase that. Where the interest rates are currently doesn't seem to be having a negative impact on buyers right now. We still have a ton of demand, and if rates drop even more, we're going to have even more demand. It's going to bring more people off the sidelines, and it's going to bring prices up. The main thing we're lacking right now is supply. So let's talk about it. Let's look at some numbers. So in January of 2013, there were 66,422 homes on the market, and 2013 wasn't known as a particularly high inventory year. It was just kind of how the market was. Now, currently, as of April of 2023, there's 20,088 homes on the market, and 1,900 of those are in the city of Detroit, leaving the rest of Metro Detroit with 18,188 homes for an area of 4.5 million people. That's one home for sale for every 247 residents of Metro Detroit. Not a great ratio. And not surprisingly, the average sale price in our market has skyrocketed in response to that. In 2013, in January, the average sale price was $85,000, and now as of April of 2023, it's $240,000, and that's the entire MLS as a whole. So that's Detroit, Birmingham, and everything in between. So now that we know that our market's really dictated by supply and demand, why is there so little inventory? So let's get into it for a minute, because there's a few different reasons. First and foremost, the last few years, when interest rates were in the 2s a couple years ago, up until about a year ago now, a ton of people were wise and they refinanced their mortgage. So, not that rates were like super high before that, because they'd been in the 4s and 5s, bouncing around for like 10 years. But, when rates get down into 3s and then into the 2s, you can refinance your home and have a super low house payment. So there's a ton of people who are currently living in a home that maybe isn't exactly perfect for them. Maybe it's too small, maybe it's too big. isn't in the right location, doesn't have the amenities that they really want, but they're not willing to trade into a new home and give up the low payment that they're currently enjoying. And I don't really blame them. I mean, at some point their pain points are going to exceed the low payment that they have in their current house, and they're going to move anyway. We're just not there yet. Another huge factor is there are a ton of people who do want to sell their house. They're just afraid that they won't be able to find anything to buy once they sell it. And hey, guess what? I just did a video on that exact topic last week. And for a bunch of reasons, there's not as much for those people to worry about as they think there is, but I get it too. There's definitely some unknowns there, and I get it if you raising kids and have a family and responsibilities, and I get why you might not want to just make that leap of faith at the moment. Number 3 is new construction. I mean, for a variety of reasons, there's just not enough new construction in our market to absorb the number of buyers who want to buy homes. Part of that is due to cost of materials, part of that is due to labor shortages, and part of it, I think, is just due to builders kind of being cautious. They don't want to build too many houses and then not have anybody to buy them. Maybe interest rates go up or whatever the case may be. New homes don't automatically always appraise too, so they need to protect their bottom line. I get that, but it's definitely part of the reason why we don't have enough new construction homes in our market as we speak. And finally, a lot of this actually goes back 10 or 15 years, goes back to the Great Recession. Homes in Metro Detroit were so incredibly cheap during that time period. I mean, I sold a house in Ferndale for $6,000. But homes are so cheap that a lot of houses that normally right now would be on the market and up for sale got snapped up by investors, and they might never see the light of day, for who knows how long, years and years and years. Those are currently the rental property that you might be living in right now, waiting for the market to crash. You missed the boat by about 15 years. But at the end of the day, what this all adds up to is a market that probably is not going to head downwards anytime soon. Even if and when the national economy goes into recession, that doesn't automatically mean that housing prices will be affected. In I think 6 out of the last 8 recessions that we've had, home prices have actually gone up, and that's because in a recession, real estate is generally seen as a safer investment than stocks or bonds. So the housing market tends to do well. The obvious exception of the Great Recession, where mortgage companies were giving money away to anybody that asked, and with the predictable results of the entire world economy exploding, and the housing market at that time was the reason behind it. So this whole video is kind of my roundabout way of saying that if it's the right time for you to buy a house, you should just go for it. So if you're waiting for some hypothetical crash or downturn in the market, I think you're gonna be waiting for a while. I don't have a crystal ball, right? But I don't see any kind of indicators that are indicating that that's going to happen anytime soon. And wouldn't be the first time. If I'm wrong, so what? The average person lives in a house for 7 years. If you buy a house and like I did in 2005, and then the market tanks in 2007, 2008. So I was underwater for a couple years, and now I'm way, way, way above water. The market will recover in that 7 years that you statistically will live in that house. And if you're worried about mortgage rates, well, so again, long-term thing, I kind of hate this saying, but marry the home, date the rate. If interest rates go up, then congratulations, you got a good interest rate. If interest rates go down, congratulations, you can refinance. That's really shouldn't be something that kind of holds you up from pursuing your goals, and at least as far as real estate goes. And I'm never gonna guarantee this is gonna happen or that's gonna happen, because the market is the market, and it's gonna dictate what happens regardless of what anybody says or does or thinks. But that being said, we had a pretty good run of the last 20 years in this business, being able to predict when the market's gonna shift and how and when. I don't see anything happening like that anytime soon, guys. But if you feel differently, please, please, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to have that dialogue and hear what your guys' thoughts are on the overall, state of the real estate market and the economy in Metro Detroit. And if you don't want to put the comment down below, you just want to send me a text telling me what an idiot I am. My direct line is 586-491-5622. You can also reach me at 248-561-6155. And if you'd rather tell me I'm an idiot by email, that's Werenka@m1realty.net. I'm also available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. DM me whatever platform you guys want, I'm on it. I respond quick. And again, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. You are the reason why I make these. This is my, real estate is basically my life at this point. And I'm committed to bringing you like real-time, honest, this is my opinion on what's going to happen. I think I've got some, stats to back it up, and I'm pretty confident in my predictions. But I'm never going to sugarcoat it, never going to tell you something that I don't believe personally. So again, thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next week, and go out, have a great beginning of your summer, and we'll see you soon.